Project file, 9 rider lines. We are going to make a line set like in 9 rider car. Plan for loop in Arduino programming. You are going to need following components for this project. One piece of DIY-made Arduino Uno board, one piece of solderless breadboard, 10 pieces of 5mm LEDs in any color, 10 pieces of 220 ohm resistors, and 11 pieces of breadboard jumpers. Circuit is connected the same as Brain project, but the only difference is that 10 LEDs are used rather than one. Each LED is connected with a separate 220 ohm current limiting resistor in series. We can use one resistor for all the LEDs, but it's better to use separate resistors. Arduino for loop. All this code has is 3 for loops. Let's take a look at how a for loop works and how to declare one. What for loop do is that it will run any code you want multiple times, and then we can decide how many turns it should loop. For example, we can print a variable for 1000 times. Here is an example for loop. There are 3 main parts in any for loop. For loop identifier. This means the word for wherever you call this word in Arduino. Compiler identifies there's a for loop coming. Condition. Condition means the code inside the brackets. In this case, input I equals to I less than 12, I plus plus. There are 3 parts in the condition. We can use 2, but let's learn this first. Separated by commas. Let's identify each one of them. Input I equals to. This is a normal variable number of loops. Counted by this variable, and 2 is the starting default value. I less than 12. This is the actual condition. Many do whatever code as long as I is smaller than 12. That means when the I becomes equals or greater than 12, for loop starts working. I plus plus. This is the part change the value of the I. I plus plus means value of I counting up for every turn. I means count of I counting down for every turn, and you can use lots of increments for this, such as I equals I plus 10 as 10 for each turn. Task. This is the code in the curly brace. This code line runs in a loop until for loop starts. There are a lot more things to learn in for loop. We will look into them in future. Here we have not given any names to the pins, we just use the pin numbers. In the setup, we have used a for loop to configure the pins as output instead of configure them one by one. Then in the loop, there are 2 for loops. First one is to light LEDs one after one from pin 2 to pin 11. The other one is to light LEDs one after one from pin 11 to pin 2. So process of the code. First for loop in the setup, configure pins 2 to 11 as outputs. Note that for loops I variable also used as the pin number. Second for loop in the loop, give 5 volt output to each pin one after one from pin 2 to 11. Third for loop in the loop, give 5 output to each pin one after one from pin 11 to 2. Finally, we made it. These tutorials are prepared for beginners level, so all the things given is simplified as much as possible. There are a lot more advanced and complex syntax and methods in Arduino. All those will be explained in future tutorials step by step. If you have anything difficult to understand or anything other than this relevant to Arduino, feel free to contact our tech support via following email address. We will answer your questions as soon as possible.